Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to the Monday Open. Boy, oh boy, what a crap show those jobs numbers were. Yeah, we'll kick things off by talking about what's happening in the market, whether we can go higher. Obviously, we'll talk stocks, commodities, and cryptos. I hope you had a great weekend. For all the Aussies out there, happy Father's Day for yesterday. Hopefully, you had a good day, and of course, 3600, baby. Yeah. Cannot say I'm disappointed with gold, and I'm pretty sure a few of you guys won't be too disappointed with the silver either. Some nice moves in the metals, some continuation actually here today through the OPEC barrel discussion from the weekend into oil. So oil up 1.86%. VIX up a little, so volatility into one of the most volatile periods of the year, which is obviously September. And the markets rally higher off bad jobs numbers. The other one to watch this week, guys, will be Bitcoin 113,500, a key critical turn point for these markets. Let's give a shout out to the people who joined early. We have Michael. We've also got Chris Adriano saying, who's this Thomas Atkinson guy? My real name is Thomas. But yeah, most people call me Tom. That's why I used that one in the past. Mega Gantiman, thank you very much for becoming a new member. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for supporting the community. And Jonathan saying all metals still look great. Yeah, one of our favorites here for the markets has been metals last couple of years, particularly this year. And so far, so good. But just start off here quickly with gold. Then we'll go through the majors. Might as well cover as much as we can. First up here is gold. There's no doubt this is a monster. Oh, yeah. That's what happens, guys. Great technical analysis coiling into awesome strength. And I've got to say, I love it because it's great technical analysis into awesome strength. It's exactly what you would want to see in terms of a movement. And I guess it proves to a lot of people, it probably doesn't prove anything to anyone really, but the main thing is that if you look at a great trend and you see a coil and the coil breaks out in the direction of trend, it's generally a much better play than to go against the trend and to really fight the system. And I think this one, gold's probably exemplified that. Became the most traded, most crowded trade. So that was the most crowded trade, like MCT. And then we had nothing happening for a while. Does anyone know what the most crowded trade only about a month and a half ago was? I'm sure it's going to change over the next month or two. And especially into the end of the year, I think it's going to become very different. Does anyone remember what it is? Welcome to the new guys. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it, guys. Remember, do give it a like if you enjoy the content on this channel. It does help us when we're live streaming. You give it a little bit of that boost. Like, comment, someone spam the chat right now. That's always helpful. You can spam that up. Short dollar. That's correct. A few of you guys getting that right. AWOL. Stacy, everyone else here getting it right. It is the short bonds before that. No doubt, Brandon. That's been a big one as well. But yeah, it was the dollar. The short dollar was the trade. And the reason I'll bring this up, I'll just quickly show it to you on the chart, is because you can see the dollar is just trapped, but it hasn't really gone shorter, even though most people would have thought it should have shorted because, of course, the media and the news, if it's in the press, it's in the price, guys. It's such a really good saying. I've got some new ones coming. New sayings are coming. I've been working on those little tidbits that I think really change it. I don't know if you agree with me, but there are times sometimes you hear something and you just think it's genius. I'm not saying I've said this, but I'm just saying it's genius. It's like the Steve Jobs honeybee analogy and the hive. Love it. It's just super genius, super easy to understand, and you instantly know it's amazing. Kind of like Toyota, their Kaizen principle. Love it. It just works. Sometimes these little sayings do make a lot of sense. But this US dollar here, you can see very trapped. Another coil, probably a decent trade off this sometime this week. I think it's going to be inflation figures. For anyone that doesn't know, PPI is coming before inflation. So that's on Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. New York time. So this will be an important data read. And then, of course, we've got CPI on Thursday, which is at the same time, 8:30 a.m. So it's PPI, which often meant to front load the problems for CPI, which is early, which is a bit strange. So sometimes this can mean the PPI actually creates a bit of volatility. Usually it's the CPI that does the volatility, but it's the second most important data read of the month after jobs numbers. And we'll talk about jobs in a moment. AED $50. Thank you very much for the very generous donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thomas, first thing, thanks for all the work you do for us. No, thank you for the donation. And also thank you for watching. You guys watching, it's the only way that I keep doing this. It's fantastic, the support we've received over the last couple of years. And one thing I will always say to you guys is I never stop learning. If I do, then probably not so good to follow. But I'm always learning, always finding new stuff, always appreciating things. Don't change the core. Of course, the core of what I did well over a decade ago still remains the same. But there's always something new to get out of markets. And it's thanks to a lot of you guys sharing stuff that I've found out more things. Speaking for everyone, second thing, let's have a look and pray together for NDX to go lower today. All right, sounds like you want this thing to go down. So we'll check out that in just a minute, Alexei. Thank you very much for the donation. All right, so dollar index, trapped. Gold, I think it's getting closer to that first level. You take the symmetrical length here, you break that up, you're going to get around 3,700, 3,750. So at the moment, it's quite extended, but it can continue to do so. Levels to watch for the smaller time frame traders, you're going to be looking at things like the 2-hour 20 moving average, I believe. You can see here it's held up pretty well through that. So a series of higher highs and higher lows for now. Wouldn't fight the gold trend. I think gold is quite strong. Silver, same thing. Looks like it's going to break a new high today. And it might hit that magical 42.43 I've been talking about for a long time, since the 20s. So it's been a while for that. Nice accumulation so far. Wouldn't mind it to actually get more of a wipe on it before rallying up. But again, the trend is up. I wouldn't fight against it based on the information we've got on hand. And I'll just quickly show you a couple of time frames. You can see here it's still in a big rally. But this is a melt-up style market at this stage. Speaking of melt-ups, we got a question before about the Nasdaq. Can the Nasdaq go down? So, yes. Okay, let's talk jobs firstly. What do you guys think about that jobs number? Is the US heading for a recession? Let's do a poll. I actually asked people on the chat about this, and I got some very interesting responses. Did I actually have this chat up? 1 second here, guys. So many tabs. This one here. All right. So we'll get a quick poll. All right, we'll just go with under 12 months or over 12 months. So if you don't think that the US is going into a recession under 12 months, press no. Let's see what you guys think. Then we'll discuss the figures. All right. So anyway, while we're waiting for that, first up, jobs numbers. Not good. Not good, not good, not good. I think I've got a chart. I'll show you. Get the chart up first. 1 second. Where did I put it? There it is. All right. Bring it back on here. There you go, guys. So this is the unemployment non-farm payroll change. And I like this one just because it's so good visually. You can see pretty good last year. Middling ground, middle of this year. Nasty revision. Medium, though we'll see what happens with that. It could be a nasty revision. It probably goes 79 to 1K. And at the moment, horror show. So, yeah, definitely weakening. It's not over yet, I don't think. What do they say? Weak bull markets sometimes bring bring decent gains. And the reason is because of stim. It's not I know it seems wrong town, but it's stimulus. The Fed is going to cut, okay? Even if it creates inflation and inflation goes, they are going to cut. They've gone single mandate. So it's expected 2 rate cuts this year, potentially 4 to even 5 rate cuts next year. I don't know if even the US can get that many through, frankly, with some of the debt issues that might be there. But anyway, this is the expectation of the street. So, like previously, it reminds me so much of 2018-19, where we actually had tariffs and we had a weakening economy, which had Fed cuts in it, and then we ended up getting a pandemic. But I think it has so many similarities that it makes me wonder, could this market actually run in a similar fashion, where we see junk basically starting to rally, because junk was rallying into COVID, into the pandemic. We had serious junk going ballistic. And I still also remember that was the first time that Tesla hit that $1,000 increment. So the jobs numbers not so good, guys. But the thing about it is markets can stay irrational longer than many people can become solvent. And the other thing is, as well, is this is the issue. So we have a bullish market with only really one bearish chart. Does anyone know what the one bearish chart is at the moment? Proper TA chart, not some random macro trash. What do we actually see as the one bearish chart at the moment? There's one major one. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have got it. The head and shoulders on Nvidia that everyone's sharing at the moment. So bad news is good news. That's right. It can be like that. So these wicks here are interesting. Of course, this is basically fairly strong buying of 23K. So we know where the bears take control, at least on small time frames, 23K. So you're going to want to look at that on the Nasdaq. That's going to equal around 6350 on the S&P. So you kind of know your levels. And if we get underneath that, 6,200 is the next major zone. So these are the major SUP zones, probably the only ones you really need to worry about. 6,400 underneath as well is going to trigger potentially negative gamma. So for anyone that doesn't know, negative gamma, I'll just quickly show you it here. We zoom this in, you can see the 6,400 strike is the most struck zone this week in 0 DTE options. So basically get underneath that, we curve down into negative gamma. So that's going to be key. And above 65, if we keep pushing too high above 65, you're going into positive gamma. So it could feed upon itself. And fairly quickly, you can see here 6,600 comes up on the OPEX of this month, which is the 19th of September. So there's a lot of case scenarios each way, of course, there always is. But let's just dial into the smaller timeframes here. So we have a massive trade on S&P, VOO, biggest ever on late last week. Then we have a doji candle as of Friday for the Nasdaq. So, of course, it's indecision near the peak at the highs. You've got Qs getting a large trade, which is the major exchange traded fund at around here. I think it was the second largest ever, non-dark pool. So we know there's a big decision here. It could still be short. It's possible. I don't predict that because there's no point. It's just a guess, and guess is bad. If I had to guess, I'd say it's bullish still. And the only reason I would say it's still bullish is because I just don't have any bad signs in the major areas I would usually look for. Instead, we only have Nvidia weakening to look at the moment, and semiconductors across the board. And our ratios, such as this one, they're holding. And the American consumer is holding. But I have a big chat for you guys. I want to ask this question. Okay, this is the TA, but I want to know, is this actually happening? There's two things. Any mortgage brokers out there? I'd like to know, for any mortgage brokers out there in the community, with the people that are currently refinancing, are they refinancing to take the money out, in your opinion, and basically spend it? So as in, like, they just want to live the high life. Because I've heard that a lot of the remortgages, the new mortgages that are coming through in the US, maybe even 2/3 of the remortgages, like when they're refinancing, they're just taking equity out of the house and using it for stuff. Is this what is happening? Because another thing that just happened is we just saw subprime auto loans, obviously down here is where everyone bought cars, hit an all-time high. Prime auto loans, obviously, delinquency rates here. High. Don't ever sell on a chart based on this, but still, it's a very interesting statistic that you want to be paying attention to itself. So, as Akbar says here, meanwhile, physical gold reaches another all-time high. Yeah, there's some problems potentially in the fiat system, is what you've got to ask yourself. Most mortgages are to pay off debt. No, I understand, Liquid. It's different in Australia. I'm talking about America. Refinancing to buy Bitcoin. My goodness. Paying bills. Interesting. See, I know we have a couple here. What do I think of gold royalty stocks? Yeah, they're interesting. It's maybe a thing of the past, though. Like, as in, like, I think it did so well back in the past. I don't know if it's any good here. Nvidia, Move. Yep, Move is good as well. Well done. I agree. Move is certainly something I'm looking at as well. So that's the Move index. Let's quickly have a look at that today. Let's have a look at the Move. Dropped down over the last two sessions, but it did break that downward trend line last week. So this is, of course, something I would also be watching this week. Watch, but maybe don't really worry too much about it. Nvidia, the head and shoulders that everyone's talking about, it doesn't really look like one, does it, when you look at it like this? But line chart does. I'll show you the difference. Ready for this, guys? It's like Houdini. Oh, change it to a 4-hour. Oh, yes. Look at this. I can now make it a head and shoulders. Look, got a little left shoulder, a little head, got a little right shoulder. Absolutely. you change the closes, as which the line chart obviously does, and it suddenly looks a little bit better. That still, even if it's down, what you've got to remember is a lot of people are going to post this, and certainly the weakest chart. But if it gets past like a 1.7, what is this price going to be? A 174. It's going to suddenly look a lot stronger. I mean, I don't think I'd be bearish on it there. I think I'd be bullish almost with stops below these low points and saying, okay, well, semiconductors have done nothing since July, part of July, which is exactly what we expected, by the way, because, of course, we expected rotation. So eventually, yes, the semis will go up. They have to, otherwise the market can't really move. So to Alexei's question before, what do we think of the Nasdaq? Well, I think the Nasdaq is still in a bullish trend. I think this is a critical decision for bears, man. If the bears are going to push it, it's going to be right here. Maybe there's a new high and then short, but generally speaking, it has to be pushed here because we know there are a few transactions around here. We know there's going to be a bit of a squeeze above this point due to the S&P 500 options at 6,500 plus. So I think you've got to be a little bit careful. It's pretty much has to happen today. It could. I don't know. I don't know that. Most of you don't either. 62% of you believe the US will enter a recession within 12 months. There you go. Interesting. As China starts having proper competition on AI chips, only then will Nvidia get a real correction. Right now, it's still bullish. That's very fair. The consumer is stretched. I believe XLY is holding up before the weightings in ETF lean towards Tesla and Amazon, which investors have front run investing into. Well, I think Tesla, I'd like to know your opinion on Tesla, guys. Are they going to stop selling cars? Like, seriously? I feel like Tesla is just all Elon is going to say from now to the next years is just going to be robots. That's it. Robots constantly. And maybe the stock will like it. Above 350, obviously in positive gamma at this stage. Could it be heading to 400? I mean, it's probably not my sentiment, but again, it doesn't matter what we think. It's about the flows and it's about the data and it's about the higher probability chances. So, of course, we started to see Tesla break out before. We've been talking about it. 350 was a bottleneck. Today's close may hold above 350. I don't know, may not, but could. And if it does, that kind of spurns on Tesla. So again, it's not really, again, your opinion, my opinion, anyone's opinion. It's making a series of higher highs and higher lows, and it started to look better technically. So it's absolutely there. Tesla's about to get 380 soon, VIX for life, like the name did. He keeps spamming Optimus on X, so probably, yeah. I seriously don't. I mean, I had Teslas, and I've kind of looked at the new ones, and I'm like, what exactly has happened? I mean, I might be naive. Okay, I might be naive, but what exactly has happened to the Model 3 since 2020? You know what I mean? I know cars are slow, but I thought Tesla was smashing it. I don't think they care. I don't think they care, guys. Tim, have you ever seen the video of the Tesla robot everyone has been showing over the weekend? Elon's supposed to be in it behind the cameras. If it's real, he's got a long way to go. I haven't seen it. Should we watch it, guys? Should we have a look at this Tesla robot dancing? I did watch one on the Chinese robot dancing, and then I was like, okay, that's interesting. It's doing kung fu or whatever. And then the guy's like, oh yeah, we programmed it. I said, so wait a second, it's not doing anything. It's like, no, that was programmed. I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's interesting, but it's I don't really know. I don't know if we're there on their old robots yet, but it's still, I think the market doesn't care, guys. It'll move its way. Some other notes: China stocks looking better this week. Continues to see kind of equal highs being tested, series of higher lows. HSI obviously testing the 50. Okay, looks pretty good. Similar to what we've already been talking about. Russell 2000 continues to outperform. Good combo for this, guys, is IWM SPY. This is the Russell 2000. You can see here 0.36 ratio. Certainly an improvement. Thank you also to the 1,600 people joining us live. Much appreciated, guys. Make sure to give it a like and thumbs up if you can. And you can see here IWM SPY improvement in ratio. So like we've been talking about, very important to understand your ratios. And this is really what the big guys do. They really do look at these types of things. So this is going to be important. Another one that I showed you guys, NDX SPY or NDX SPX. A lot of people say, well, does this mean it's back? I'm not sure that's strong enough for me, but certainly looking at Nasdaq outperformance SPY could come back. If it does, then semiconductors may have bottomed for now. Even though it doesn't look like they sold off, they burnt time for a while. So be watching this one and particularly Nvidia closely. I think Nvidia is probably one of your number one stock watches this week. So I'd certainly be watching that. Amazon was a bit of a winner last week because of the tariff sweeps, which hurt Temu. Temu got smoked because of the tariff sweeps under whatever it was, that small amount of money that they were bringing everything in on from overseas. So that certainly hurt them. And of course, yields on watch, guys, under 3.5%. So this is a critical moment here for yields. If I had to guess, I think the US yields will be down at 3% potentially over the next coming weeks and months. We'll see. That's a guess, but the price is down, and obviously it has not changed trend. And the key line that you want to watch, and I'd probably just leave it on my chart for the future, something along here. You want that one because that is a key line to watch. So if we see this, let's say inflation comes back and the market does this, well, all of a sudden you're going to have to flip into stagflation style plays. And of course, one of those top ones is gold. So it's just another reason why I like gold. It's like the perfect combo. I knew it. I had a feeling it would be. Actually, I kind of knew it would be because it makes sense to the current cycle analysis. But it was like a combo. You cut rates, good. You go into stagflation, it's good. You see geopolitical tensions, it's good. you see weird things that to do with debt crisis, it's good. You know what I mean? Like, what exactly is bad for gold? Give me a bear case scenario on gold, guys. I need a bear case. Give me a bear. Hey, Tom, do you watch PCC put call ratio? Yeah. We always check PCC. I check it regularly, but it's only when it hits my extremes. So my 0.6 on the bottom and obviously 1.4. Now, if 1.4 is hit, by the way, Jeff, that's a good question. I usually like to think about buying the dip. Pretty good for dip purchasing if it's along with other alignments. But if, the call one is much harder. But of course, it is coming into the call bottom. So probably more about 0.63. Bear case is everyone seems to be talking about gold. Yeah, fair enough. It's overpriced? No, it's not overpriced. It is not overpriced. So the reason it's not overpriced, and I understand you can think that, is because it did go through a lost decade. So you got to remember from 2011 to 2021, 22, gold didn't really do anything. In fact, did nothing. Went up, down, all around, did nothing in particular. Gold is the oldest currency in the world. Gold has a multiple of fiat print. Gold is not overpriced, in my opinion. In fact, it's still, in my opinion, cheap. However, it's only because I think that it's going to trade to a multiple of fiat. So there is a multiple process. I understand your point, some penguin, especially if you go for RSI and those things, but I don't think it's overpriced. This is correct. Strong deflation is bad. So if we went into a really epic deflation period, it's actually not good for inflation either, though. You do not want a deflationary boom. That's not good for gold, or deflationary bust even. Gold will still be volatile. Like, it'll drop, I believe, like 30% plus, 40% plus if we go into a crisis. But I think it'll come back stronger than the rest. I can't see the benefits of human-shaped robots, advanced industrial manufacturing robots we already have. The benefits, they'll cook for you. They'll clean your house. It'll be an army. Who knows? I mean, there are many benefits, but I don't know I'm an expert on those things, but certainly there are plenty of pretty big benefits. Bear case for gold. Congress balances budget and starts paying down debt. Yeah, right, Crash. Does anyone ever think that any of our Western nations, and I'm from Australia, so I think that we're not going to either. The UK, Australia, America, Canada, even New Zealand. Do you think any of us are ever going to pay off our debts? Ever? We might be like, inflate the debt away, boys. It's gone. Gone. Anyone seen that South Park? And it's gone. What do you mean it's gone? It's gone. That's what's going to happen. There's no way. All right, Trump can't attack gold, guys. Doesn't he sell it? Congress paying down debt? Yeah, not going to happen. UK will never? No. I do think it's weird they make robots like humans. Feels like they would be a lot more useful. It's because they all watched The Terminator. And then they went, yes, I am going to become, what was it called? Keep thinking cyberprime. It's not that. I forgot what the damn system was called. And The Terminator, just then, it totally went out of my mind. But I just remember, I remember watching The Terminator as a young kid. I don't know how I saw it. My parents were watching it. I was like watching at the door. And I still remember the crushed skull at the start of whichever Terminator that was. Oh, it was terrifying. I thought, that's real. Too bad. I actually have to live in that in that dimension potentially. Skynet, that's the one. Skynet. Cyberdyne. Yes. All right, so the Skynet. All right, let's keep going. So we've got Bitcoin. Very important chart, guys. This is an important chart. Take a look at this daily, and this rejection. So there's going to be a lot of people with shorts, I think, above the 113,500 line. So at the moment, you can see here there's a rejection. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm actually bullish Bitcoin. I am bullish Bitcoin. And look, it's possible it can go lower. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking 104.98, certainly, good levels, but it's possible. And of course, this looks short. But if this is taken out and it goes higher, then even though everyone wants September to get killed for Bitcoin and stuff, it seems to be running a very similar path to previous paths. Bitcoin gets kind of smashed on. Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Binance Coin, other coins, they're all kind of doing this. That's like what happened last time and the time before that and the time before that. So, this is interesting. And then if you look at alt, so let's just do some crap alt finding for a second. So we'll just go DOT, because I know DOT exists and that is a crypto. Look at these TA areas. Okay. All right. It's trash. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of like a base. Now let's go to a different one. We'll go to ADA. Now I'm pretty sure this should be improving. I haven't looked at the price recently, so that's improving for sure. But you can see here again, a basing structure, a breakout. It makes sense. This is usually a coin that goes before the other ones. Okay, so it's certainly an improvement. Someone give me a decent base coin. I don't really know what's down there nowadays because I'm not looking at them. I just say they're all a basket of the same looking thing. XRP? No, XRP is not a crap coin, is it? Tom Lee said this morning he sees Bitcoin 200K by end of the year. Your thoughts? That's a big number. What are they? 200K. Yeah, I mean it's feasible. It's not my number. I think I always said 150, but no, not Sol, not Doge. We can not Doge. Link, LNK. All right. Look here for a second. I don't want any of these ones. What the hell are these? Where with? Oh, I hate all this. All right. No, it's already gone. I need things that are actually in the basing structure, like most of the alts are. XLM, sure. That one should be potentially down there. Stellar, Lumen, whatever's. What the hell is this? It's not right. No, that's not the one I want. Doge, is that actually there? Doge. Yeah, that's the kind of base I'm looking for. There's a lot of base structure alts though. These ones are all kind of not quite in their lows, but you see this. You've got kind of like your structuring lows, your improvement, which is when you take this out, your second structural low, your 61.8 fib. So this is good. And we've come back and we've kind of picked up. So recently, get rid of that for a second. Again, this is actually an improvement price. Another 61.8 fib, I would say, based on eyeballing it. Have a look. This one should be 61.8 fib, yeah. And then this one should be around a 61.8 fib. Yeah, 61.8 fib. So that's good. And then, I mean, I don't believe in this coin at all, but some of you guys can. It's irrelevant to me, really, anyway. It just is. It's like a penny stock. So the thing is here, this is again a bit of an improvement. You got lower lows, a little bit of high. Obviously, you're looking for a 0.25 ratio breakout. Now, I'm just kind of getting to the point here where I'm saying, like, if you look at a lot of alts, it doesn't really matter which one they are. They all kind of look like basing in different ways. Like accumulation holds. What I actually found is if you look at alt seasons, they don't last for long. I found that actually in the last 30 to 40 days. I actually wrote about it on LinkedIn. The post comes out tomorrow morning, my time. If you're interested, follow Thomas Atkinson on LinkedIn. I'm posting there a little bit at the moment. But you can see here, you've got these kind of break highs and they don't last for long. When Doge goes, it goes ballistic and then it blows up. So, yeah, interesting times. What do you guys think? Do you reckon alt season's coming this year? 200K Bitcoin? By the end of the year, I mean, it's done percentages like that in the past, but I think there's a law of diminishing returns. So, yeah. I have to focus on my account. Judy calls. Thanks, Tom. Farewell, traders. No worries, Christine. Thank you very much for joining us. About 21 minutes to go. Alt season will be shorter this time round. Certainly could be. I think it's going to be alts is my exit signal. Yep. Everything moves faster. Yeah. Tom, can you take a look at SUI? I'll have a look just if it has a thing, and then we'll go back to stocks. SUI. It's not really that. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not like what I would call like wow, but yeah. I mean, look again. It doesn't matter what the all alts do. All of the alts will kind of go at the same time. It's fine. I mean, it doesn't look weak, dude. It doesn't look really that strong. So anyway, Bitcoin thing to watch, 113.5, key level to watch this week. Certainly this shooting star candle is important. I think this could also tell us a bit about risk on or risk off for the S&P as well into September. So certainly watching it. Now, for anyone that wants to know, the back half of September is usually where the real selling is. So we're not quite there yet. In fact, that actually starts next week. So if you wanted to say when is the seasonal time of weakness for September, that generally is the period. And for now, I guess the US 500, 6,500 plus close is the one to watch. You get above 6,500, at least the general evidence is positive gamma and the market pushes higher. We did NVIDIA head and shoulders. We had a look at, of course, the S&P, Nasdaq, and Russell. Russell currently looks like it's improved the most. And of course, the Nasdaq's doing that today, but time will tell whether it can hold that level. Bitcoin to watch, gold, silver looking good, metals in general looking good. Let's have a quick look at energy. Now, energy is pretty nasty. Oil is pretty boring and not been too good. I think that level to watch today is probably about 63.80. So I'll be watching this one pretty closely because it did dive under this low. It's very geopolitical. We saw, I believe, a kind of barrel lessening from what the expectation was. I didn't really follow it, but the main thing here is the price action. We see improvement here. It could bring, again, more people in, and that could bring the energy stocks up, such as XLE, OIH, etc., which may improve. So they improved last week. They've dropped down. This is actually round right here. Actually, the most traded zone of previous range. So now within here and here, I think you need to see it improve. So this will probably be a PPI, CPI move if it's going to happen. Halloween sell-off, if we don't do it next week, this would generally be a very good read for sure. That is one of them here. How about the ticker CRM? Posted very strong earnings this week. So CRM, which is Salesforce, sacked a bunch of people, posted pretty good earnings. Unfortunately, that seems to be this time, the kind of times we live in nowadays, where all these companies are like, yeah, we fired people because of AI. Anyway, that's what they think. Very decent support level. I'm looking for it to breach this downward trend line. I think that this area here was decent. We actually spoke about this in our private community. And yeah, I think it's an improvement. Like there's some case to be made for this to find buyers at around this point. A lot of people think, and remember, it got trashed due to AI in the first place, but it should theoretically be a benefit for a little bit and then probably not so good. Did I look at XRP? No, but I know it's around support at this point. TLT pushing above 200. Yep, let's have a look at this. So treasuries, a lot of interest in treasuries due to the jobs numbers last week, which pretty much tell us we're going to get a bunch of cuts. Looking for big trades here. There's been a couple of clusters. I want a big one. If a big one happens, you'll be the first to know about it. I'll tell you in the daily show. I want a big one. Big. Why do I want a big trade? Because I want to see somebody actually going in on treasuries. It's been a long time. And this is a very good level. I've always maintained it's a good level. I think treasuries aren't without their own risks, but Yeah, I mean, the risk reward makes sense at these zones because you've got kind of you buy, your stop losses. If it goes worse, you probably just have to say, okay, well, I'm done with it for now, and then see what happens. That's probably like a sovereign risk crisis, frankly, if we're going down there. You go to really look at the higher time frames. It was the most crowded trade over here, and then it became the most crowded trade, remember, long over here. So everyone's eyes have been on treasuries for years. I mean, years. Like, when was this? The first time, 2022. So, I mean, it's been a horror show investment. What do you guys think? Is it going to improve? I mean, it's pretty obvious that it should because of the whole rate cut scenario, but I don't think the rate cuts are what you're looking at here. It's whether, it's probably a mixture of things. I'm still thinking about treasuries from a macro side. Did we predict the S&P dark pool was a bit of a sell? We didn't. I didn't make an established move on it. I can't tell. The last two were bulls buys, and then market moved higher. This one, it could be some weird rebalance move for the S&P. You don't really, sometimes it's pretty obvious what they're doing. Like, say when gold had a massive one the other day, I said it's most likely a buy. Okay, I'm biased, but it was most likely a buy because of the way the market had ranged. The problem with that massive VOO trade, the biggest ever on VOO, is that we don't have a movement either below 63.50, 64 or above 65 plus closure to give us that positive gamma move. So I'm not sure which one's going to be here. Could you play AR as an island reversal? Let's have a look. Probably not. I mean, I understand you gap down, but it's not really a full kind of like gap up. Is it up 1%? It's probably not that much. Like, when it dropped, how much was it? It was like 4.6%. So I wouldn't say it's an island reversal. That being said, again, probably holding a couple of things. So you're holding your trend line here from recent lows. So kind of needs to hold. VOO, the last time number 3 and 4 trades were buys. That's correct, Jeff. I've been thinking TLT would move over the last 6 months. Nope. Yeah, it's a consensus trade. I actually am looking, Stacy, at the way that the market or the big players have actually been hedging it. So, yeah, I'm looking at the reports and it still hasn't broken what I would usually look for to find super buying on treasuries. It might come in soon. We'll definitely got. No worries, Jazz segment. Can you talk over your macro thoughts on the treasuries in more detail, even if they're unfinished? Well, the problem is that I usually go and focus on something when I think it's got opportunity. So I don't waste I found that you can't waste your precious brain space on trash when it's trash. So the reason I'm saying it's unfinished at the moment on treasuries is it only just potentially got interesting. So what I generally see is if I see what I think could be a technical base, I'm just kind of writing this down. So with actually a pen and paper, so you guys can get an idea here. But if I see what I think is a technical base, then I'll go do the research on it. And the reason is because what I like to do is I like to create a thesis, ask myself whether I have any edge on that thesis, especially for the macro, because with macro, you want to hold it for quite a long period of time. Then I want to go and disprove it if I can. And this is where things get sad in trading and investing. Anyone ever done this before and you've gone over and you looked at the other side? So you come up with this great thesis and you're like, oh, there's so much bullish case scenarios, guys. And then you go and you look for the bear cases against it, which you should always do. And then you go, oh, yeah, no, that's not going to work. Sometimes it will, but generally you're probably right. So, yeah, you go through so many things and you end up saying, okay, well, it's actually not much edge. So generally I look for TA waking up. Once I see that, then I go and proof it. So I have not bothered looking at treasuries, and you know this because I don't put it. Notice I didn't put it on the daily show for about like 15 months because what's the point? It's kind of like I got what else did I take off earlier this year, and I only bought it back about like 2 weeks ago. Anyone know? AMD, please, sure. This went higher than I thought. Beautiful trade. I got to be real. I thought it was done about 143. Sometimes they go higher. Kind of looks crappy at the moment. Yeah. I think it could go to 140-ish, but I'm not really doing anything on it. Crude? Yeah, crude. Would love to see meme with Elon Musk as Johnny Cap driver from the Total Recall. I kind of want to see this Elon Musk. I'm going to watch it after this live stream. We're going to see this Elon robot thing. Could be right, Kevin. Hims, does the company have long-term growth, or is the GLP an erection pill here to stay? What? I don't know much about Hims in terms of whether it's good or not. That looks like a damn volatile stock, I gotta say, guys. That looks like gambling. Now, you could disagree with me, but do you guys agree? That looks like gambling. You got selling up here. I guess you got buying here. And you got a whole lot of volatility in between. So I'm pretty sure that is super dangerous for me. That's not the type of thing I like. Give me the heebie-jeebies. Whoa. From the TA side, though, you got a little double bottom at the moment. Either up nor down, 50-50 chance. Yeah, it's not the kind of thing that I look for edge. I think a lot of traders and investors forget that sometimes, like, I remember I was trading like Coca-Cola like a long time ago. And someone's like, oh, that's so boring, man. I'm like, I don't care. And it's like, why? I said, because he goes, but it only moves like 0.5% per day. I said, yeah, and it's just ratio, bro. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, if you have a stop loss here and it's 1% away and you're making 3% over this period of time, but it's actually all risk with leverage, it's just ratio. And he's like, oh. But yeah, dude, the boring is beautiful. Boring is beautiful. So on the treasuries, I'm working on it. I cannot answer the macro question right now because there are 3 things that I want to know, and I haven't bothered to look at them yet. What's your CPI prediction? I guess slightly up. What is the actual prediction? It is 0.3. So basically similar core to what we've been seeing the whole time. So 0.3. Yeah. I mean, if I had to go with prediction, I would go with shelter up, food up, oil maybe still down, utility stuff down, restaurants couldn't tell you, but I assume up based on what I saw at the US, but who knows. That's the kind of thing I would be looking at. So food away from home up, and then medical up. Medical's going to become really expensive. Out of the most mega caps, Tesla is the only company whose CEO has hit 100% performance-based reward in the past. Interesting idea there established, yeah. Second place is Jensen with 3 out of 12 rewards hit. If Elon hits all his rewards again, that's $10 trillion. Really? Is that how much he's getting? Wow. $20 for a hamburger? Yeah. Already did BTC before. 113.5, man, is the bull side. And at the moment, market is still down. Even though it's, up today, it's still in down mode. The dual mandate has changed to save jobs. Absolutely, it has. SpaceX and AT&T bought Spectrum from Sats for a total of 35 million. I think it is squeezing. That's potentially correct. He gets 1 trillion, but Tesla market cap will be 10 trillion. Okay. Yeah, the only way for Tesla to get to 10 trillion is exactly what he's going to do, which is just going to be just promising anything you can think of in terms of AI robots. That's what I think. I think this is going to be promise everything and anything to do with AI robots on Tesla. How much is a hamburger down under? From like McDonald's or something. I think like a meal is I'll tell you what, I'll check my phone's dead. I was gonna say I'll check my phone. It's probably like $14 Australian for a little meal thing. But you can get burgers under $10 pretty regularly. That's 10 Australian peso, by the way. So that's probably like $1 American. Nah, it's probably about $6 or something American. It's pretty cheap. 14 odd. Yeah, it's about that. For a little meal, whatever. We had a Wendy's, guys. I went and tried the Wendy's. It had that was it. It's like a piece of toast. They put a burger on it. And it was, the most annoying thing when I was there was some bloody TikToker there. And he'd made everyone leave so that he could TikTok eating Wendy's in Australia. I said to the guy next to me, I said, man, who does this guy think he is? He's like, I don't know, man. He's annoying. Yeah. I said, yeah, dude. God damn. Going in and out. We don't have in and out. Novo. A lot of you guys interested in Novo. Seem to come up a lot today. This is Novo Nordisk, yeah. And is it Nordisk, this one? Beef is cheap in Australia? Yep. I had In and Out. I think one of the great people in the community ordered me In and Out, and he gave me a thick shake in America when I was there last, and I was like, "Whoa!" Almost killed me. He goes, "I got you 2." I said, "Bro, I can't handle 1." That was deadly. The most deadly thing I've drunk. For Australian can't handle that kind of sugar, guys. NVO still in downward trend. I'm not sure what we're looking at here. That looks good. Open, please. Sure. Open Door Technologies. It's on a way to the moon. 5 billion. So look, it's ramping a lot, but it's very volatile. So it's clearly news driven and flow driven. SoFi in early stages of getting a lot of vol. Yeah. SoFi has been obviously near all-time highs. It currently is still in a dull market improvement. So there's a bit of vol coming through. It's kind of dull. We're 2 minutes off the open, by the way, but you can't say it's in a downward trend. I mean, the thing is just it's ramping. This also could benefit from obviously all of this fancy bank business we're going to be doing over the next year. So fancy bank business, this stock is. Duolingo. What is this? Duolingo, the learning app. It doesn't look good. How is this not going to get smoked by AI? Am I wrong in thinking this company is going to get smoked by AI? Look, quite oversold underneath the low. Could pick up here. This is where around you'd notice usually bullish buys to come back in. But yeah. How much is that off the top? Oh, it's bad. It's really oversold. No signs of recovery yet. Maybe mark out this high here. That happens, then maybe it's put a temporary low and kind of angle it towards 320. The bird is dead, man. Yeah. Sell on Apple iPhone event. Yeah, Apple iPhone event this week. What is it, like 2-3 days away? I think that probably is I haven't used that for quite a few years, which is usually the pump into hype and dump after the Apple event happens. You'd have to hope they're going to do a better phone this year. I mean, that Apple 16 did nothing for me. Anyone got an iPhone 16? Have you personally updated the gold target yet? 4,200, 4,000, 4,200, and 3,700 for the first target at the moment, just in terms of like a temporary one. Apple events tomorrow. Oh, okay. That's how little I pay attention to Apple nowadays. iPhone 16, now 17. They still haven't built the one that flips and folds. Thoughts on Berkshire? Wouldn't bother with it anymore, man. It's not that it's not a good company. I'm sure there's trades on it as well sometimes, of course, but I think it's obviously going to lose the Buffett premium, which has already probably come out of it a bit. PA wise, you got to kind of like what you look at here at the moment. You got your lows, you've got a switch of trend, and the companies underneath are obviously still improving. So, yep, it's actually not bad on TA, but not like not fantastic. So I think to summarize this week, guys, it's PPI, CPI. Market obviously opened a minute ago. We're up on most of the mag stocks. So we'll have a look at the top 10 here. Where is this top 10? Whoa, the combo went crazy. So that's financials down. Okay, so PLTR. So the top 10 that took us to the moon and back have held today. So it's going to be closure day is going to be very important. That means tech is back running again for now. I don't think it's confirmed it's going to run up yet as a rotational switch back into tech, which has been about a month, 2 months now of doing nothing. Remember, if you look at, I won't change that one, but if you look at XLK, you can see here since July, it's done not much. So had the big V, now it's doing a pit. Nothing wrong with a pit. Resets indicators. I usually like that kind of thing. That's my favorite trade if it does happen. How's the sectors open today? Let's have a quick look at the sectors. Always interested in the sectors on open. Bring it on a sec, guys. Okay, so oil. Yeah, so as I kind of think, oil should be doing probably best today. OIH, not bad sector at the moment. Nothing much to really note. Semis up, oil up, tuber discretionary up. Moves probably underappreciated at the moment. That big resistance. This is agriculture. Certainly a market sector I'm looking at for a break. Hasn't done it yet, but 76 is key. AMD keeps getting smoked. Yeah, it ran heavy. Like the problem with AMD is it went up so much so quickly. Like as I said before, I thought it would stop around here and have a problem. It went faster, but that means that when it does this faster move, it's probably going to come back to where I think it should be. Thanks, RJ. Appreciate it. Octo going up 3,000%. All right, we'll have a look. But I net 3,000%. 1,442%. See, I mean, this is where I know everyone starts. Look, if you're on that, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But if you're not on that early, this is just always, it's just disasters, you know? I mean, firstly, 4.4 million. This is like the smallest thing ever. Like, who's going to get into this? It's like dead, and now it's up. Do not touch these things if you don't know what you're doing. It's a recipe of the disaster. It hasn't priced. It doesn't have any volume. It's insane. Octo has news. I don't care what it has. 4.41 million market capitalization. What are you gonna do? You get in and just you can't get out. There's no lines. You could it'd be horrible. I have to research it now. Oh no, don't do it, man. Read the Octo news and do the math. Octo announces 250 million private placement with additional 20 something. Okay. 8Co Holdings lost 1.2 something. So it's just this one here, I guess. Okay. So it got 250 million. So it's some kind of like acquisition-y thing. Oh, it's Dan Ives. Okay. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I understand that maybe you could do well off it if you know what you're doing, but for me, freak me out. It's like a penny stock, so I always just treat it with the way it is. Look at it go. It's trading, guys. It's moving tens of percent at a time. Oh no! Damn it! I lost 100% of the gain component. Oh no! I was in Oklo at 686, but got out at 22. Okay, well done, dude. Oh, it's Miguel. Look at this. Miguel's crazy. 686, 22. Got out. He just got broke. I think it just, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's too mad for me, guys. I go boring, and boring is beautiful. This is a bit mad. You'll learn eventually. This is where the degenerates play. Nvidia up 1.5. Okay. It's the only bad chart, but it's still not above this high. Oklo's at 70 now? Whoa, 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 whoa. I have to go back and look again. What the hell was I looking at? Octo. What the hell was I looking at, guys? Oklo or Octo? Oh, Oklo. He was saying Oklo. I thought you said Octo. Octo. There you go. My goodness. Trolled me, he did, with his Octo. Octo. I can't look away now. I have to look at this. It hasn't moved. Okay. I had to go back. I had to go. I'm going to check that ticker at the close. I just wanted to see what it does now. Thoughts on the Klarna IPO? Like any other IPO, if it's tech. If it's tech and is it on? It isn't on yet, yeah? Or did it come out? If it's tech, you know how it is. Boomy into busty generally, and then it kind of goes from there. That's my thoughts on IPOs. Might be good to come pick this one up in 18 months. Tesla is so frustrating. What's frustrating about it? It's going up, says Enos. 0.78%. Does Bitcoin appear in a rising wedge? I don't think. I think Bitcoin just 113.5, man. Really, all I care about at the moment. Klarna should ramp Thursday open, I think. Yeah, probably ramps, and then probably does like this. you just gotta be real careful with IPOs in America. I've said it for 10 years. I noticed the phenomenon back in when Meta or Facebook came on, Twitter, the others back then. They all went, "Rah, bleh." And 12 to 18 months later, you swoop in. Little smiley face. That's when it's good. I'll try it again. Baidu may be free, Tom. Baidu, man. Baidu, the perennial. Oh, it's free. You're right. I was about to say this thing sucks. Yeah. Okay. Decent Wyckoff base. Nice breakup. Hideous stock generally. Good targets. Indeed. China stocks. That's the thing. Novo Nordisk seems cheap, Tom. The problem is I don't think they could protect their drugs. So which one have they got? The Ozempic, yeah. There's that other company that has them now. MSTR. I'm a bit scared of MSTR. I just think all it is that NAV. We got that NAV problem. I think it's going to compress. The issue is, and I may be completely wrong. I'm not an expert in MSTR. Price action wise, still going down for now. So no change of trend, okay? But the problem with MSTR is everyone else has cottoned onto it. Everyone's doing it. So it's compressing it. Look at this. Look at Hood onto the SP500. And MSTR got denied. So yeah, Hood's loving itself today, up 11. Could be right, Chris. When will GME break out? No idea. GME, you just sit there and hope that one day somebody makes a tweet about it. It's boomy busty. Yeah, I think the market hasn't really made too much decisions. This is the one to watch. S&P 6,500 plus. Coin on tokenization news. Yeah, I've been looking at Coin. I'll report when I see it go above a high or do some breakout. Again, nothing happening. No worries, Chris. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we'll leave it there for now. We've got an open. We know that, of course, this week's PPI and CPI. We've got Bitcoin level, I think, kind of set. We've got gold ramping, which is fantastic. Silver doing all right. I think energy looks interesting. We looked at that. Tesla looks kind of bullish. I think there's going to be so much. Elon's just going to post so many things about Optimus robots for the rest of time. So you'll watch that happen. And I don't know if it's going to tickle Wall Street's fancy, but they might, who knows, buy it up. Mag 7 stocks obviously picking up a little bit here today. So you're getting that kind of rotation. Nvidia, one to watch this week, 170, 4-ish. I'll do a special on Treasury soon to talk about what I think about it. I'm researching as we speak. And generally speaking, I know the jobs number's terrible. I know that a lot of you guys believe the US is going into recession sometime in the next 12 months. Some of you didn't. 40% didn't. 60% did. It's all possible, but you've got to remember bull markets can survive for a while. We're not negative jobs numbers yet. We're still barely eking out positives. The Fed is going to do what it's going to do. It has a one mandate policy and they can push it for a bit. Traditionally, a proper crash has not happened until you see the back end do better. And then they haven't been. So I don't know if we're entering late cycle. I think the structure of the next 6 months is going to be super important. We'll follow it along. I'm looking closely. Fed cut in September. From that point, we start T minus. So yeah, we are close to really looking at structure. So guys, fantastic. I will see you next Monday if you're in the public rooms for live. Otherwise, I'll see you guys at the close of today for the rundown on what's happened. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin. My personal preference is probably I wouldn't mind it going lower before so I can get some sneaky Bitcoin at cheaper prices. Why not? But I don't know if it will. And I think alt season will come again. So I remain, I don't know, randomly optimistic on the fact that markets will rally on basic sugar drive for now. But, I still think this is the Q3. I'm looking for the dip to hopefully get some powder. And yeah, I think 2026 is going to be one blockbuster year, possibly one we don't want to talk about. Because if the markets keep being concentrated, I'm seriously questioning indices. First time ever I've ever questioned the US indices in my life. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very big year, 2026. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. And we will see you very soon. Bye for now. Appreciate it.